Right, this is actually congregational meetings. It's much broader than just finance. We're moving in that direction. Okay? Ready to roll? Okay. Let's roll this thing. Welcome to our new annual giving program. We're going to tell you about that. This program replaces what in past years we called the pledge campaign. What happened was we made enough changes that we decided we would be better to change the name of it as well. So we did. I'm John Spitzer. I'm a member of the task force that developed the new program. Other members of the program, Barb Gundy, Tom Hartley, David Lindemer, Joel Morrison, and Linda Underwood. Where did Linda go? There she is. And I need to add that we benefited greatly from Reverend Amy's help in putting this plan together. We started last June and batted around a whole lot of different ideas. And so we're going to Linda is going to tell you about them. We have the next slide here. We have a real simple agenda. It's what the new program will look like, why the change, and then questions. So let me turn this over to Linda. Thank you, Linda.
Thank you all for expressing an interest to hear about this. As John said, we did not do this lightly. We have studied and looked at other congregations, and we have received immeasurable support from Reverend Amy, who had a congregation that did something along this line. But of course, we have to be unique, so it's not exactly what she had done in the past. It's going to look like you are going to get a personal email inviting you to a small house party. You will, hopefully, cheerfully accept the invitation, and you will, and they will be at all different times, and they'll be a small meal. Our first one is going to be a brunch. There might be appetizers for wine and appetizers at the end of the afternoon. There might be a dessert party. There'll be a variety of things. And you'll come together with 15 to 20 people. Most of them are going to be in your area. We'd like to keep the transportation down so that we're not, if you're in Northport, we're going to try to have some in the south and some up towards Sarasota. And you will come together for probably an hour and a half, depending on the spirited discussion. The purpose is to not isolate the annual giving program from the rest of the congregation. We're going to be having small cottage meetings. We're going to be calling them shareholder meetings. And we are going to be entering into conversation about a lot of things other than just giving. And the thought is that this will be folded into an annual event so that we will be having them every year. The current plan, and it is continually changing, is to have 2 meetings a month until we've reached everybody. Hopefully that will be done by June, but it may not be, and we may have some over the summer, we may have some in the fall, depending on the numbers. So you will be meeting in a small group. The shareholder meetings is what they're calling. The host will welcome you. You will have an opportunity to meet some of the new members. They will be folded in. You will hear some brief remarks from the minister, and you will have a chance to ask questions. You will hear from a board member and have a chance to ask questions. And you will hear from a finance team member and have a chance to ask questions. We hope at the end of the meeting that you know a little bit more about how our finances work. We hope at the end of the meeting that you've had a chance to let the leadership know of things that you're interested in seeing us doing. And we hope that you will be inspired to give to the congregation. You will be also asked some questions that you might want to start thinking about is why are you here at this congregation? What values are you having supported here? Is this an important thing in your life? We want to get down to why we're all participating. You will be asked to share your ideas about what you would like to see the congregation do. Tom was right that we would like this to be more than just about finances. It's about your congregation and what you want to see going forward. And then at the end, you will be given a packet. We are not, despite the rumor, you will not be locked in until you've given an investment. You will have some paperwork to take away and look at your leisure, and then get back to how you would like to support your congregation. Why did we make this change? This is an incredible amount of work. This committee has worked tirelessly every 2 weeks, all summer, through the fall, and we don't see an end to it. But we are excited about this change. We've heard great things about the cottage meetings that the search committee used. People have liked them. The search committee felt that they got valuable information. So we would really like to continue on that vein to keep something like that going. We want to make this fun and meaningful for you. We want to improve the congregation's understanding of our fiscal health. We want to provide an easy way for you to share your ideas and goals for your congregation so that we can be listening to everybody. A big one for me, because you know membership is near and dear to my heart, this is going to improve our outreach to new members. Instead of a plug at the middle of pathways where we don't have much time, new members will be invited to a small house party. They will have a chance to meet people and hear the same information. So we think it's going to be a better outreach to our new members. We are in tough times, and we in Florida are in a tough place. And Florida needs us, Florida needs UCOV, and UCOV needs you. This is not a time to look away. We've got so many things that are challenging us. So that is what it's going to look like, why we're doing it, and we are all here to answer any questions. Did you come hoping to hear something that we have not addressed? Sure.
At the meetings, you are going to have a person called a steward involved with your particular meeting, and that person is going to follow you throughout the year and the coming years. And so that's going to be a contact person for you if you have questions about the financial health of the church, or specifically if you want to get information to the Board of Trustees or any other committee or team, that person will be able to help you do that. So we want to make sure that you understand that you'll be guided through this whole process. You won't be just thrown out there and you know, left on your own.
The next steps that will happen is you will get a personal email letter invitation, and the meetings will start in January. Our first 2 will be experiments to see what works and what doesn't work. But you will all get a personal invitation.
I'm fortunate to be married to John, who's part of the Finance Committee. But on the other hand, I will say to the committee that sometimes we hear remarks about, well, we don't have enough money, or we hear remarks that we're solid, we don't have any real worries. And then the shareholder approach is coming, which I hope will give us a broader paintbrush in terms of how we look at trying, as opposed to, oh, we really need to rescue the church, the membership, or we're just here to really, as Linda spoke, reflect how we value the organization here. But it has helped me enormously to actually visibly see a sheet that reflected how the budget is prepared each year, projecting what the expenses for the organization will be and how the money is allotted. So will there be budget for dummies, kinds of audio visuals or visuals that would help people to have a little bit firmer grasp? And I am a person who kind of desperately needs some sort of visible explanation.
Yes, there will be. It will not be titled Budget for Dummies. But yes, there will be a handout. We think we have a format for that. People don't need to know the monthly electric bill, but they need to know in general. So we've come up with some broad categories. Yep. Mark.
Thank you for all you're doing to help us become a better informed community. It's really important. Speaking of Budget for Dummies, I'm dummy number one, and over the last number of years, I've had the opportunity here and there to pick up this and that, and I've learned that it's a very complicated process to run this community. It's not some simple thing of a few people getting together with a budget. We have long-term needs, we have short-term needs, we have capital needs, we have all sorts, we have endowment, we have money that might be used short-term, money that might be used long-term. It's very complicated for a dummy like me to try to get the picture of how all these pieces of the puzzle come together. And you know, many of us really may not care to know all of that, but I've found that in order to appreciate the community that we're in, it does require that I have to delve in and learn enough so that I can be an informed member, so that I can have an opinion about what needs to be done. And I just would encourage all of us to be willing to take enough time to really understand the long and short-term financial needs of our community and where the money comes from, how the money goes out, what it's going to look like next year and 3 or 5 or 10 years from now. It's going to take a lot of work for all of us to become well informed. I just want to thank you all for taking the responsibility for helping us do that.
And Mark is exactly right. There are some of you who are going to be interested in exactly what our budget looks like. There's others of you are going to say, I have people I trust, and I'll just go along with that. So I know not all of you are going to study the budget, but that data will be there for those of you who do.
Yeah, I just want to make a comment that this time of year is something that's very important that you might not be aware of, and it's called a qualified charitable deduction. If you are over 72 and you have a 401k, you know that you must take a distribution, otherwise you're going to be taxed at a big penalty. But what you could do is take a portion of your 401k, make it a qualified distribution, and that comes back out tax-free. So if you haven't made all your distributions yet from your 401k, one of the things you might want to consider is to make a qualified charitable deduction and save some money on your taxes, as well as giving some money to the church.
That's an excellent point. Many of us do. I just filled out mine last week. So it's something that people should know about because it does save you money.
And another thing is, this time of year, you know, I'm getting a lot of mailers from different organizations that are talking about, again, charitable giving in your will. And we have the Legacy Friends, but boy, it would be good to talk about that regularly now so that people can focus on, hey, you know, yeah, we need to do a will, whatever, but include UCOLF. And you know, when your group was speaking, I mean, Marilyn points about Legacy Friends. You know, I bet how many people pass by that long banner on the wall by the door and never see it. That's the current list of Legacy Friends. And you know, it's kind of exciting to be part of a group that is doing something for the future for UCOLF. And
we've got a whole new column. We've got a whole new empty column. As you'll notice, the hanging has doubled in size, so we're ready to start a new column, and you can be the first in your block.
yes, make it exciting.
You want to be on the committee?
Mark Murray is coordinating the Legacy Friends, so I'm sure he would love any ideas and any help to help with that. But you'll be hearing about Legacy Friends, I guarantee you.
Quickly on Legacy Friends, it's the one place where you can put your money where your values lie to push them far into the future. That's the purpose of it, is to take UCOV's mission and values and promote them indefinitely out into the future.
at a recent service up north in Flint, the UU there, we had, as part of the service, a slideshow of photos of donors, couples, very nice photos from way back all the way through, and it was really inspiring. It was effective instead of, you know, faceless names. So that's something we could do sometime.
Thank you, that's a good idea.
Maybe we can put a slideshow as part of the shareholder meeting?
No. For legacy friends, people who've been, yeah.
Well, I feel really stupid because I'm on the board and I don't know, I don't see it on the website. If people want to look to see how our budget's doing, where do they go? In other words, monthly, we get all the financial reports for the board, but do the people have a chance to, does the congregation have a chance to see that throughout the year, to see how we're doing?
That's a good question.
I don't see it under About Us, Governance. You know, usually on the website, you can go to About Us and then Governance. Oh, the other one was about, also, I think it'd be helpful if everybody could see at some point when we're not talking about pledging anymore, right? But if we could see how.
We're talking about investing.
Investing, that's the new terminology.
Investing in
We're
UCOB.
investing in UCOB. If people could see the breakdown of how much is given by people, you know, 1,000 to 5,000 or whatever it is, under 1,000, I think that has been very informative for me anyway.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. That's something that some of us have pushed for actually several years, and we are going to have that as part of our program here. That'll be part of the packet. Yeah.
Good.
Just addressing Pat's question about status. During Linda's presidency, I know the treasurer had a monthly column in Touch that is kind of like Tom's report now that he makes, but a little status. How are we doing for the month and year to date? Just in some general terms, but if there's something specific comes along, we might think about reinstituting that. I think it was during your presidency and probably Pam Palmer's.
I know you did some of that, yes. Yeah. I just want to make sure that people understand the data about what you give personally is held confidentially. That goes to the treasurer, and very few people have access to that information. When Pat's talking about giving some information, she's talking about not with names, but 10 people give between this and this, and 20 give between this and this, in sort of categories. But what you give is a private matter, and we don't share that information.
You know, one aspect I think that we all should be aware of and concerned about is when you think of us as a family, of all of us together, and we all support the household that we live in, we here at UCOB have a situation where we've been blessed to have a small number of long-term members who have been very, very generous annually. And if we don't have those, it's like a person in the family who loses their job, who makes the significant amount of money. All of a sudden, that family has to go through a huge adjustment in their lifestyle. And folks, we're going to be in that situation here. So I do think as we look ahead, we really have to, you know, seriously look at how our finances for the future are going to be handled. It's going to be a big and important issue for us as a community.
The questions? Oh. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming. We happy that you are interested in this, and stay tuned for an invitation.